Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very shockingly inspiring episode of the True Talk Show. And today I have such a wonderful topic, such a wonderful guest that is here to join us. And before I'm going to dive into it, because again, I'm super excited for this, because this lady that is going to come on today with me on this show is going to enlighten you with some things that maybe you have been wondering about as well. Maybe you have been doing certain health practices, you've been drinking loads of water, you have been taking supplements, you want to, do all the good things, all the good practices, all the good efforts to become more fit or to become more lean or to be able to, get that muscle or I don't know what it is that you want to do with regards to your health and fitness, but for some reason it seems to never work. And today might just be an eye-opener for you in order to understand what was that thing that basically caused it not to work. So before we dive into this, and I'm super excited for it, I'm just quickly going to do my checks to make sure everything is working properly. So bear with me. And do let me know where you are tuning in from, whether you are here live or whether you will be tuning in on the replay. So it is always super nice to see. For some reason, it seems to never work. And today, all right, just doing my checks, making sure everything is working, and to basically get started with this. And I'm again very excited for today's topic. So here we go. Do let me know where you are tuning in from, comment below, and let me know how excited you are for this topic, as well as if you have been experiencing something like this, where you have been putting in like the good efforts, but for some reason it just wasn't working. For some reason you don't seem to get that six-pack, or for some reason you still feel tired even though you drink loads of water or whatever the good practices may be. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have ever faced anything like this. And again, like I said before, this might be an eye-opener for you as well. So I'm just doing my checks to make sure everything is working properly. Hello, we got Ashley in the house. You are such a superstar. We got Ricardo, another superstar in the house. Super nice to have you guys on. We got Guriki in the house. Nice. And Ricardo is saying super excited or very excited. Nice. Alrighty. So just my final check to make sure it is all good. Alrighty. Yes, this seems to be working properly. Okay, cool. Let's dive in. So why this episode and why am I so super excited for this today? It's because for those of you who have been following my journey or, the past a couple of months of my journey at least, you might have noticed that I personally had a few things health-wise that I had to consider and things that basically prompted me to get into better health. And let me just very quickly, without going into my whole life story, let me just very briefly, share with you what happened. It was basically that I had been putting in so much excitement, effort, and hard work in my business and in helping people and serving people that a lot of the time I just was like, let's keep on going, like not rest. And even though I have the freedom to rest, I have the freedom to do less at times, I'm so excited that I often, go way beyond my own limits. And that has been a pattern in my life. And so what happened earlier this year is that I basically had an injury with my back, which wasn't even a bad injury, but it was just like very painful. And I therefore had to take a step back, rest, and kind of reevaluate my decisions as to, how can I make things different? How can I make sure that actually I can do what I want to do, but in a way where it's also good for me, and in a way where it's not just like constantly giving all without resting or without doing giving myself those things that are necessary in health. And that really, I don't know if you guys can resonate to this, that sometimes where you're so excited about something and you just really love what you're doing, you just want to keep on going, you just want to start a new project, you want to help more people, and then when you have to take a step back or you take a day off, then you feel like, oh man, I would like to do more, right? So let me know if you can resonate with this, and if you've ever experienced anything like this, or perhaps maybe experienced burnout or experienced like physical injuries or insomnia or whatever, any of these things that are an indication of health not being, let's say, totally toppie, as we say in Dutch, not being like the best you can be. And one thing that I've certainly learned is that even though it probably goes well for a long time, and for me as well, I've been doing this for years. It was all cool and well, and I can handle it, and my spirit is strong. I'm like, yeah, I can keep on going. I don't need sleep. Sleep is overrated, and that type of stuff, right? But in the long run, it's never going to be good. In the long run, it will have a detrimental effect on your body, on your ability to stay focused, on your ability to be productive, on your ability, on your energy to have good communication. It has an effect on everything. And so one thing that I basically, after my family has been telling me for ages, and after wonderful conversation with my family and close friends, basically came to the decision earlier this year, is that this year I want to be my best fitness possible, my best balance possible. And I'm actually, incorporating the time for myself to rest when that is necessary. And I actually completely changed around my lifestyle in order to be at that peak performance, so that in the long run, I can help and serve so many more people. Let me know if any of this resonates with you, because if you as well feel very passionate about your mission, very like spirited, and you love to help people, and you love to just give whatever you do, give your all, then I want to invite you to join me in this as well. Join me in saying, this year, I'm going to be at the top of my fitness, in the top of my health, so that I can do more and also feel more happy at it, feel better at it, and not feel tired all the time. There's this very funny saying where people say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? And that was kind of an emotion as well that I felt. I was like, no, I love to help people, but I also need to be in my best health to be able to do that in the best way possible. And so I made that commitment and said, this year I'm going to do whatever good it takes to be my best health possible. And I was having a conversation with a phenomenal lady that is today's guest. Her name is Mieke Mindo, and I'm going to introduce her in a second. But I was having a conversation with her about this very topic, right? We're talking about health. We're talking about all different traditional Asian practices and a lot of different things. And she's part of our phenomenal global impact creators group, and she's a serial entrepreneur. She has businesses upon businesses. She's helping people all around the world, and she's really, really phenomenal. But most of all, she's just so sweet. And we were having that conversation, and she was giving me tips about my health, my nutrition, and just all like genuinely from a good heart. But there was one thing that she said to me, and it was like, that's an eye-opener. And it basically came down to the following. And let me phrase it in a question. Have you ever had it, or are you perhaps right now seeing that in spite of your goodwill and your efforts and the practices that you adopt, maybe you're mindful of your food, you take right supplements, or you take the right vitamins, or you drink a lot of water, or you work out, or like whatever it is, you do all these things, but for some reason you're not seeing structural change in your health or in your fitness or in your well-being. Have you ever had anything like that? If you do, comment below and say yes. Because when she mentioned that to me, and not just mentioning that to me, but mention why that is, which I was like, that was an aha moment. I also said to myself, well, what you're saying here is very crucial. And since I have made it my mission to this year to be at my best physical state and my best mental state and my best, fitness, I said to Mieke, I would like to learn from you. I would like to learn, because what you're saying right here, I wasn't really aware of. And is there any way that, you could train me on this? And she said, yes. And I'm so, so, so excited. And because, this really, like, as we were having that call, Mieke can probably remember this. When we were having this call, I was literally like, oh man, I'm so excited. Like, we should share this with more people. And that's why I'm so super thrilled that today Mieke is coming onto this live True Talk show to talk about this topic, and to have you, if again you have had this too, to see like why could it be that in spite of your goodwill and your good efforts to put in, more healthier practices, why is it not working? Why is it not doing it? And it's a very simple thing, but yet there's a lot to it. And that's why I'm super excited and super grateful that I will be joining Mieke on a wonderful like mentorship program. She's going to be mentoring me through this thing, and I'm so excited for it. But again, we want to make sure that more people are aware of this, because it's just not cool. If you want to be healthy, you need to get healthy, and this is a crucial thing that you need to know. So without any further ado, I would be super happy and thrilled to bring to our virtual stage the incredible Mieke Mindo. So everybody comment below and say, hey, Mieke Mindo, as I'm putting her on right now. And it's going 3, 2, 1. Boom! Hey, Mieke, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you, Tjibaria, for introducing me. I wish that I can beneficial to everyone here.
Yeah, well, I'm just, first of all, I'm so super excited, because I was literally today, I was like, oh man, I'm excited for this live, because this is just, it's so crucial information. But I just wanted to say thank you for taking out the time out of your busy schedule and to share this with people. So thank you very much for being here. And before we dive into this topic and the reason behind why people's health practices are not always getting the results that people very much want, I would like to ask you if maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit, because I obviously know you. We work together very closely with the Global Impact Creators program. But maybe you could share something about who you are, what you do, your your different businesses, your mission, just so that people who are watching this right now also have a little bit of an idea how incredible you are, and what a phenomenal entrepreneur and spirit you are. So the floor is yours.
All right. Okay. Just to introduce myself, I'm actually, I started this business to help others is because it started from my own family. My child, sorry, before I do that, my name is Mieke Mindo. I'm actually from Singapore, right? And I've actually have a lot of issues when my children was young. My eldest child was born with asthmatics, and as you know, the asthmatic usually is no cure. And even the doctor was saying when he grown up adult, he may still have to rely on the medicines, especially the spray, and when he does a lot of vigorous things, right? And my problem is not ending by then, because when my second child born, I also have another problem, because his ear is not just a normal other people's, which is either wet or dry. His one is a wax. So when there is a water go inside, it was actually after a few days the water will start to create an infection on his ears and the whole nose and throat, so he unable to eat and drink. And because of these two, actually, we have to visit the doctors constantly, almost like weekly and fortnightly, right? And it's not just the money that we are draining out. The most important is the children are unhappy because they cannot eat, they cannot exercise, they cannot a lot of things. And then as a parent, um, you comment here, if your children is unhappy, they are mumbling. What do you think? Will you be more stressed, or will you be more happy? Maybe you want to comment below. What do you feel about it?
Yeah, that would not be nice.
Yeah. So, and also I have another personal issues, because my asthmatic child, when he coming back from school, he always cry, because he just say, I can't exercise, I cannot join my friends playing and all those things. So as a young parents, as what you know, we have no knowledge, nothing. We do not know what to do about it. So we decide when my child started to grow bigger, I started to go library to do reading, and I start to find out there is a possibility to cure. So because of that, I'm looking for some alternative myself, and I start applying further studies in the. I was thinking of nutrition at that time, because alternative medicines usually is in the supplement side.
Yeah.
However, after going through all the entrance examination, I realized that herbs is also help. So that's why I took holistic health practitioners to just analyze the whole body structure of every individual, plus introducing herbs and food. All right. So from there on, actually, the years passed, and my both children has recovered, and there is no issues. Until wow, yes, until my eldest one was at the secondary school, which is around 13, 14 years old. I was having a surprise call because in Singapore, all medicine issued is all tracked by the government, right?
Yeah.
So when the hospital nurse was trying to call me, she speak very very politely. He was
Yeah.
saying, "What happened with you? Why you never buy the asthmatic medicine for many years? Does the child still alive?" I say yes. I was I was really really a surprise to me
Yeah.
because I didn't expect that they check until how the life and the medicines that we have been purchasing. So and then he was they because of his recover asthmatic at a very early, which is even though he's still a children, which is usually childhood asthmatic is it will reach under adulthood before they get into better. So they actually sending out somebody to our home to check on our dust and our air and everything. They do all the vacuuming. And then finally, about 2 months later, the news come that your child has recovered. There is no asthmatic in it. Yeah, so that was fantastic. And then my second child was born with the HENT.
Mm.
So,
Thank you.
sorry, I speak
No
too
worries.
fast.
No worries.
Yeah. So my second one who has HENT, which usually go to see doctors monthly to remove the wax to make sure that there is airflow, no infections, and is also recovered. Yeah,
So
now so he has no issue on food. He loves food now, and he become the biggest among all the children.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is so beautiful, and just to also like share a bit more about this for everybody who's listening and who also might either have had any of these things like asthma or it doesn't actually matter like which kind of issue or problem you may face or have faced, or whether it's more like you are looking for particular health results and you haven't been able to find them. The beauty about this story, I find, and that's why again I also was so inspired when you told me this story before, was that actually the doctor said to you, when with your first child, for instance, that
Mm,
that it's like not curable, and that once you have that, it will be there like forever kind of thing. But
mm,
you are able to, with the things that you learned and with the things that you have qualified and mastered and become a severe expert in, when
yeah,
it comes to nutrition and when it comes to holistic practices, been able with natural means to cure
mhm,
that, and with
yes,
natural means be able to basically allow things that again normal medicine that would say like, oh no, this is something that's just like this for the rest of your life,
mm,
to be able to solve that. And I think that's a very very powerful thing, and I really want to thank you for sharing that story. And that brings us to the point where we want to talk about today, because again, whether it is that you are right now facing a particular health issue, or whether you just want to improve your health and you want to see this fitness success,
mm,
um, one of the things that Mieke and I became to talk about is that, again, you might be putting in the work, you might be exercising a lot, you might be knowing about what are good nutritions, what are good supplements, what are good things to take in, and you take them in, and for some reason it's just like not helping. Or again, you're drinking a lot of water, but for some reason you don't see the effect of any of that stuff. And like we said before, has anybody faced that? And a lot of people commented like, yes, I've had that, or yes, I'm facing that. So I want to ask Mieke to introduce like, what is the reason that these things are happening? Why is it that, even though, and I had that myself as well, even though you put in all the work, why is it sometimes not getting the results that you wish, or not getting the results as efficient and fast as people would like to have it? Would you be able to share something about that, please?
Sure, that is very interesting. That is what I love this topic very much. Okay, so actually, before I go deep into it, I like to give you an example. Usually, for us in Asia, we like to eat rice, right?
Mm,
So when you have a very big bowl of rice cookers with a good rice,
mm,
right? Which is assumed that you're taking out a lot of supplements. This is how the rice is. It's a good rice, a good food, right?
yeah,
However, you just need to put in 1 spoon of rotten rice. What happened tomorrow? The whole bowl of rice is rotten as well. So this
yeah,
is what happened in our body because you have been accumulating all those food that is rotting inside. So even
mm,
though you take a lot of supplement, a lot of good food, a lot of clean waters or whatever you do, when they
mm,
come, it will mix into that, and then it turns out everything is become rancid.
yeah,
So when it become rancid, your whole body is not taking up the supplement or the nutrition that you want, but you
mm,
are taking out all the rancid food, the result that what it get it into. Yeah,
yeah,
because yeah, so we always call it that before you taking out all this good food that you spend, might as well
mm,
you best for you to cleanse it first. So when your body able to absorb those good nutrition or good food into
mm,
your body, based on whatever it is, instead of mixing up with the rubbish
mm.
and I call it rubbish. Sorry,
Yeah,
apology
yeah, yeah, yeah,
if there is too deep for it, because that is where you accumulating over the years.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and as you know that when you have a lot of those extra food that is not been removed from the bodies, this food is also it become a toxin to our bodies. Okay,
mm,
and this toxin is producing many kind of toxin. One, it could be toxins as a gas as well, right?
mm,
Because they're also producing gas that like why the rubbish have a smell is because there is a gas
yeah,
produced from it. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
same. We're also producing the gas which is affecting our lung and others part of
mm,
organs. And
mm,
if there is the rest of the residue, it will also go down into our intestines, our anus, and all those things. It going down below, and it caused the whole pipe to choke,
yeah,
right? And then this show, if you didn't remove it out, and slowly all the whole part will keep going up and choke down, and it become constipations, and then there is a lot of other issues will happen. Okay,
mm,
so many people who has too much toxics, one of the many of the people happening is like cancers, for example. That is
yeah.
very easily is happens. And then if there is a lot of others blockages into your blood vessels, and then it become high blood pressures and many others.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
such an interesting thing, and it makes so much sense. Like when you give the example of the rice bowl, that it only takes a bit to kind of make it not so good, like not so good environment for all these good practices or good supplements or good nutritional things that we put into our bodies to actually not work or not as effectively. It's just like when, for instance, you want to plant flowers in your garden, and then you put in the seed, you give the water, you give the you put this, well, you don't put the sun, but you allow sunshine to come in. But that actually in the soil itself, there's a lot of like things that they're not good, they're not they're very dry, it's very like bad to it. It will not allow for, even though you put water, even though you have the sunlight, it will not, nothing will grow there. So what is very important, I want everybody who is listening to this right now and to comment that below, is we need to make sure, as Mieke said, to have that purification of our body. We need to make sure that our bodies are not like a garbage disposal where there's a lot of stuff going on. Because when that is the case and we put in the good stuff, it won't be effective. It won't catch on. It might do, good things as well, but not to the extent that it could be doing it if we were much more cleansed or much more purified in our bodies itself. And what was really striking to me, you told me a story about this client of yours that was basically drinking a lot of water
Mm.
because the skin was dry and all that stuff, but then that didn't work as well. Would you carry to share that story as well, because that was really
Sure.
like, what's going on there?
Okay. Yeah, I have this a friend of mine who
Mm,
actually is also asking for treatment because he actually drinking about 4 to 5 liters of water per day. Then he tells me, I already drinking a lot of water, but why my skin dry? Then when she went to see the doctor said just drink more. So I was like,
Yeah.
no, because even you drink more, your body cannot absorb it. Whatever you in is out because the body
Mm,
can unable to absorb and use the water. The main
mm,
problem of this is because if you don't cleanse it, our body metabolism will also start to weaken because uh, when you go into our stomach or intestine, they actually start to contract. Where the
yeah.
contraction is actually absorbing all the nutrient or the water into our blood vessels. But
Yeah.
when there is a lot of things choke inside, just like a hose, when you put in stuff, the hose you can't even press.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
when you cannot press the hose is unable for them to do the absorption. So
Mm,
that's why
mm,
whatever is in is just out from the bodies because there is no way the
yeah.
body to absorb it. There is no contractions, nothing for it. Yeah. So
Mm,
even though I told her very clear, even the doctor asked you to drink more, you will have the same thing. But
yeah.
I also asked her how many years have you been see a doctor? It's already like about 4 or 5 years, and there is no improvement. So
Mm,
what
mm,
the best thing for her is to do the cleansings, and then after the cleansing is done, then you start to repair her metabolisms. So make sure the body will function again to do the absorptions. So
yeah.
basically, go to the basic issues of it. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's such a good point. And Missy is saying I had to change my eating habits 2 years ago, and it made a huge difference. That's very, very beautiful. But the
Mm,
thing is this, right? And this is again why we were so excited to have this live video, because a lot of the times it is so that people change their food habits. People introduce exercise into their daily routine. They take these extra vitamins or extra supplements or whatever it may
mm,
be called. They start to consume way more water, because obviously water is good for us, but it's still then not necessarily allows us to get the results that we wish. And sometimes people they do this, just like what you were talking about with your friend, drinking a lot of water,
mm,
but no effect. What is absolutely important is for us to see, okay, how can we make sure that we are in a state where we can absorb, or in a state where we can allow the metabolism to be such that if we just implement a small habit change or food change or a small exercise change or nutrition change, that it can actually have the effect that it wants to. And that's why I am super excited that I will be able to join your program on actually going through that whole cleansing, because and this is something that we want to share with you guys also, like
mm.
what is this, what does this whole cleansing mean, and what's there to it. Would you be able to share, some parts towards what cleansing is, and how that has effect on our bodies in so many different ways? And not even, you told me, not even the body, there's even way more to it. So would you care to explain a bit more about that, and what this whole cleansing mechanism is?
Yeah. Cleansing mechanism in our body actually is a lot. That's what you understand. Our body consists of many different systems, right?
Mm,
They have a digestive system, and all this have a all these systems have to work together in our
mm,
body, right? So, for example, like our body not just require a nutrient from the food which is digested through our digestive system, but they
mm,
also require oxygen, which is from our respiratory systems. All
mm,
these work together to make sure once it's come into our body, make sure we have the absorptions. They
mm,
have circulatory system, we call it, which is able to absorb into our body and use it.
yeah.
Okay, but of course, not only just a circular system. We also need a muscular system because we need to do the contraction with our muscles. So
Mm,
our body is very complex. All these things is if one of them doesn't work. For
mm,
example, you have a group for you have a after you do the cleansings, right?
yeah.
um, Everything is clean. However, your system is not working. Even I eat a good food, already digested, but there is no muscular system to allow
Mm,
the contractions, and then
mm,
there is no circulatory system to allow the food to be circulated in our body. Our body still in the terms of
mm,
insufficient. So
yeah.
when you're talking about cleansings, it's just a beginnings that everybody is a must. But
Mm.
after that, you need to understand what is the other cause of the issue, which is you need to go to look into your lifestyles
Mm.
to see what is the problem in in your systems.
Yeah. And something that actually you're continuously doing that then causes the rice to have that rotten
Yes,
rice in
correct.
there.
Uh,
If you clean the rice and then you put new bad rice in there, that's not gonna
yes,
help. It
correct.
remains the same. Yeah,
Correct. So
and
everything is have to work together as a whole. So after you do cleansing is just a beginning of everything else. All right,
mm,
to make sure because for example, if you have a blockage in your blood vessels, for example,
mm,
all right,
mm,
you also need to do cleansing in your blood vessels. It's not there is a cleansing is not just for you to pass motion every day, but
yeah.
it's also your blood. So we have some people who eat certain food, it causes a lot of plaque in your blood vessels when your
Mm,
blood is unable to circulate your food and oxygens, and then your movement or your body start to also have some effect about it. Yeah.
mm,
So
mm.
that is a cleansing is actually a lot of step. Is whether it's a cleansing of the commonly when you see a doctor when you talking cleansing is basically is going to toilets.
Yeah.
Right. So that is the common, but our body actually do a cleansings for other part of the system as well.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
one of the another that is a myth. Everybody was saying yes, I go to toilet once a day.
mm,
All right, every day I go to toilets. Okay, but
mm,
remember, how many meal do you take per day,
mm,
and how many times you go to the toilet? So you see, for example, if you take 3 meals a day, you only go one times to the toilets. What happened the residue of the other 2 meals?
mm.
Yeah.
It just
So
sits
this
there.
so this one will also accumulated along the years. That's why there is some word a lot of older people were saying, I work so hard. When I get old, when I start to fall a lot of sick and start
Mm,
suffering. But
yeah,
you
yeah,
forgot, yeah, the older you are, the more accumulation you have for all this inside your stomach. So the older you are, is the more frequent you need to do more cleansings, especially if you've never done it in the younger age, because
yeah,
that is the time that the accumulation of all these extras inside your bodies is start to rot and
yeah,
start
yeah.
affecting your health problems. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's a very fair point as well, because a lot of the
Mm.
time, people do these things where, let's say, they do a one-time water cleanse, or they do a whatever cleanse, or something happens, but without actually understanding, like, what is it that you have done, and how does it connect to the body, and thereby not being able to do it further, or like through different phases of your life, it's not going to be beneficial, because, like you say, it's not a one-time thing, like one time I cleanse and now I'm clean for the rest of my life. Like, it doesn't work like that. And I think that's very beautiful as well, like the way how you teach your students, because you basically guide them through the whole process of cleansing, which takes a couple of weeks, but in such a way that people understand what it's like, and that for the rest of the life they can keep on doing it, they can keep on allowing the balance to be in the body, so that the results can continue to show, and people can actually feel much more healthy. But just as a quick thing, like for anybody who's watching this right now and
Mhm.
is thinking about, okay, yes, I understand, I also want to change, and I want to cleanse my body to be able to have more effect. What are some very basic simple things that like, for me, for instance, like, what are things to think about? What are, like, you talk about herbs, you talk about like the drinking of water, and even the times at which you drink water. You talk about, like, even molecular structure and cell structure, without going too complex. What would be a couple of simple things for the audience to keep in mind when you think about cleansing, and when you want to go about a cleanse? What are some important things that people need to be aware of?
Okay, when you're talking about cleansings, water is just a simple kind of cleansings. Okay.
Mm.
However, as I mentioned, even you take water, some of them still have constipations because the
Yeah.
block is already too long or too many years happening. So, so in this case, you need to start to consume a kind of herbs, okay,
Mm.
to soften it. All right. I just want to give examples that everybody will have a different cleansings days. All right.
Mm.
so far I encountered one person who took them 2.5 weeks before it really go and cleanse the body. The reason being, our intestines is actually as a 7 times as your height.
Well, yeah.
Right. So depend how many blockages it happens. Okay. So far I only encountered one of my patient. It took him 2.5 weeks, which is almost like 20 days before he really go to the toilets and clears it. And
Yeah,
once
yeah,
he go to the toilet, he told me that he cannot stop until the whole bowl is overflow. Sorry, it's too much about this. But
yeah.
this is just happened to me. But some people it will take maybe 3 days, 4 days, you can see the result. So it depends how much is your blockage at your intestine itself, your colon itself. So it will take quite a long. Even if you take a supplement, it will only clear from the top before it going down to the anus itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, so some people were saying I took them 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, to even 1 month is a possibility because I have one which actually he pass motion once a week.
Yeah.
So when you do cleansings, it will actually take longer time compared to the others. Yeah, so very individuals. I cannot say that. Some people asking me, hey, how long for me? I will not know.
Yeah.
Because your lifestyle, I do not know how you eat, how you sleep, how you drink waters and all those things. And so this
Yeah.
is yeah. So every very individuals. So herb is actually of course help, but it will take effect differently for different persons.
Yeah, I see. And there's also probably like different herbs that have different healing powers, basically.
Yeah, different
So
structure.
depending on what is your issue, there's different herbs that you should take more of in certain periods during the cleanse, I assume,
Yes.
and therefore it can have its magical effect and stuff like that. But you know what I really love about this, and why again I'm so super excited to be learning all this stuff from you, is the fact that it can all be done with natural means. It can
Mm.
all be done with what grows on our planet, and anyone can do this. But
Yes.
again, it comes down to the fact where if you don't know about it, then how do you do it, right? If you're not
Mm.
aware of it, how do you do it? And that's why I really love as well your mission and everything that you do with your different companies, which by the way, you're so humble, you haven't even spoken about that, but let me just tell you that Mieke is absolutely amazing. She has her own paste line, so this for the most delicious paste to make dishes. All like she keeps expanding with that. It's a very wonderful business, and I'm so excited for that one going global very soon because then I can finally order it. And aside from that, she's helping people to live that holistic lifestyle and to be able to master cleansing and therefore basically be guided through that whole process and all the different facets there are to it, even the mind part of the cleansing, because a lot of the time people think cleansing is just a physical action. It's just taking certain things, doing certain things, and therefore the body's done. But there's a lot of cleansing that happens as well in the mind. And that's how it translates to it becoming a lifestyle rather than just a one-time thing where you hope to cure the rest of your life, but where you actually change it around in your system, in your life, and in the way how you live and encounter things. So that's one of the things that you're doing. And I think it's very powerful. And I feel that if again more people would know about this would be so beneficial, because I can imagine, let me just know for everybody who's watching this in right now, or who will be watching this on the replay, comment below if you would like to know more about how to cleanse yourself, about like these simple herbs that we can all get from the supermarket or even from our own gardens. For those of you who have gardens, like Mieke told me about one herb, and ever since she told me about it, I bought it. I don't have a garden, so I don't wait, what is it called? Yeah, I don't have a garden, so I can just grab it from there. But I went to the store, what was it? It was Holland and Barrett, I think, where I went to get that stuff. It was called Moringa, right? And now I take it every single day, which obviously is super beneficial. So I just want to ask you guys, those of you who are watching, how many of you feel that you would like to know more about this as well? Because one of the things that I am super excited about, and I had this chat with Mieke earlier. Because obviously Mieke is one of our global impact creators, and we're obviously here about making a global impact. And this training that I'm going to be joining with her and that she's going to take me through is a very exclusive mentorship program. But because again of the mission and Mieke wanting to make sure to help more people and get this awareness to more people, she has actually decided to open up a few more spaces on this special mentorship program where you will be completely guided through a full cleanse, get all the ins and outs about which different types of cleansing is necessary on the different levels that it takes part in, so that you are first of all cleansed after the several weeks, but then also have the knowledge on how to change your lifestyle and to be able to do this over and over and over and over again. And so this program that I'm part of and that I am very excited to go and learn on, Mieke has decided to open it up. And again, it is a very exclusive program. It's a mentorship and it's very private. But because of Miike's mission, what she decided to do is to actually take on people on a scholarship. So rather than having to invest like the thousands of pounds that this program, stands for, to actually have a scholarship opportunity for this. So I would like to ask the audience again, like a lot of you have been commenting below and saying, yes, I would like to know more about it. How many of you would like to be considered for a majority scholarship for Miike's program, where again, if this can only be for a low number of people because it's such a high level and exclusive mentorship. But what it would mean is that if you qualify for the scholarship by means of an interview process, meaning you have to have a conversation with Mieke to see if you were the right fit for the program, that she would actually cover the vast majority of the tuition fee, of thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds towards the tuition fee, and the investment would only be the minority. How many of you would like to be considered for such a opportunity, for such a scholarship? If you do, then comment below and say yes, because this is the incredible news that I'm just so delighted to share with you guys. Mieke has decided to open up a few spaces for this. So what is going to happen right now is I'm going to put a link into the description. And in this link, basically, there is the option to apply for an interview. So what it means is that if you click on that link and I'm going to put it in right now, so make sure to click on the link as soon as possible, you can apply for a scholarship interview. And what it then means is that you go and put in your name, your email address, your phone number, and your country. And what then happens is that Mieke will give you a call. That call will be around 10 minutes of your time, approximately. And in that call, Mieke will see whether this is the right thing for you, as well as if you're the right fit for the program, because this is going to be very high level. I'm going to be on the program as well, learning from you, because I'll be also one of the students there. And like, it really goes deep. And like I said, I want to make sure that this year I am at the top of my fitness, that I want to know what is these things that can allow me to perform better, that allow me to be more healthy, and have every single practice that I do to have its maximum effect. And so it does come obviously with the right mindset. You need to be willing to get the results. So that's what the interview is going to be about. And then if you qualify for the interview, what it means is that Mieke would be covering the vast majority of the tuition fee, and you would only have to invest the minority. And the reason, again, why Mieke is doing this is because this is like her way of giving back, her way of making a difference to the world and allowing more people to have this awareness. So if you haven't clicked already, I would highly recommend you to click on the link and to just apply for an interview, because like there's one thing that we used to have within our team. One of our members of our team would always say, if you don't ask, you don't get, right? And so if you think like, yes, I also am very keen on bettering my life, bettering my health, allowing me to have that energy again, have that fitness, and be able to do the things that I want to do without having to struggle all the time, and actually feel much, much, much better, then just go for it. Then just go click on the link and have that conversation with Mieke. And for all you know, you might actually get a phenomenal opportunity to have this elite program, to be able to learn how to do these things, to cleanse yourself, and to have the knowledge how to do it for the rest of your life. So I'm just putting in the link. I'm obviously live on a number of different places, so I have to put it on a number of different places. So yeah, if you haven't clicked already, make sure to click right now. And I'll also put the link in here for those of you who cannot see it. which I don't think is anybody, but just in case, sometimes people can say, "Oh, I can't see the actual link in here." So it is HTTP and then like 2 dots and then bit.ly/HMC interview, which is obviously for the holistic elite program, for the holistic cleansing program. So I would highly recommend you guys to be on it. And Mieke, I just want to say a massive thank you, because like I know you have obviously gone through a tremendous amount of training and practicing, and you've had so many different patients who have had tremendous results in this whole methodology. And it's just very awesome to see, and that's why again I'm so super excited to be joining you on this program, that it's just simple tweaks to make in your life, in your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be hard, but you just need to be aware of it. And that's the big problem, and one of the things that I'm personally always so passionate about is the fact that we don't always have the awareness. We have the goodwill, we want to make a change, we want to be the best we can be, but we don't always have the knowledge on how to do it. And that's why again I want to thank you massively for giving out this opportunity to people to be able to get this knowledge, to be able to get through the education in only like a couple of weeks, and then for the rest of their life have that knowledge to be able to make that difference to themselves. So a massive thank you, Mieke, for being here on today's live episode and to sharing your wisdom and your value with people. And I just want to say, for everyone who's watching or will be watching the replay, comment below and say, I deserve to be at my best health, because that was a thing that for me really has clicked this year. That was a thing that beforehand I was like, it's okay. I serve people first. I help other people first. They needed more. I'll rest later, right?
But yeah, this is the examples I want to say. When you own a car, before you can renew your road tax, usually the government will ask you to go for maintenance your car to make sure your car is fit to drive. But how often are you maintaining your health?
Yeah, so true.
So this is a lot of people, they forget that they thought that our body still can run because nobody checked on us, then we just ignore it.
And then to know that actually these things, when we know about it and when we have that awareness and we know what are the natural means that we can very, how do you say it, very natural is the right way, like natural, holistic, like to be able to consume the right herbs and to have our body being how do you say it? There's something I think in Dutch, but it's like not in a synthetic way, but actually like supported by this planet, that we just naturally cure ourselves and naturally allow us to be healthy. And then when we are purified and we are cleansed in that way, and we continue to live a lifestyle that backs that up and that is in alignment with that, then when we put on top of that the good practices, the right nutrition, the exercises, the extra vitamins, then it has an actual effect. And then we can be the best we want to be. Because if we look after ourselves, then we can also go out there and serve the world and help more people. So once again, really appreciate you to be here on this live. Thank you so much. And for everybody who are listening to this today, if you thought this video was useful and you've learned a thing or two, or you feel as inspired as I am, then please feel very free to give it some love. If you think or know anybody that is also currently really needing to hear this and also really need to make sure that they look after themselves and that they, in spite of all their efforts, finally actually get the results, then feel very free to share this video or to tag someone below. But most importantly, like you guys just commented below, I deserve to be at my best health. Take this on board. Take the steps. Allow yourself to see the results this year. Don't put it forward. I've been doing that for too long. Putting it forward. I rest later. No, take it on board right now. And just like I am doing right now, allow this year to be the year where you see yourself at your best fitness and your best health as well. And on that note, I want to say another thank you to Mieke. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you,
And if
everybody.
you haven't already, make sure to click on the link. Just check it out. Apply for an interview. If you don't ask, you don't get. And you'll have a wonderful conversation with Mieke. And for who knows, you might be finding yourself in the good graces of Mieke, that she will sponsor you on this program and you would only have to invest the minority. So on that note, thank you guys so much and catch you guys tomorrow on another episode of my